Hallo, ek is E.T. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. Jep, ek is alweer hier met nog 12 gesegdes. In jou noppies wees. In jou noppies wees. And that means to be happy with yourself or to be impressed with yourself in a certain situation, or you have accomplished something and you are then in jou noppies with yourself. Let's look at the example, bottom right. Ek is in my noppies met hierdie skildery wat ek geverf het. Ek is in my noppies met hierdie skildery wat ek geverf het. And that means I am impressed with this work of art that I painted. Op die nippertjie. Op die nippertjie. And that means last minute. To receive or to do something last minute. Hy het sy huiswerk op die nippertjie ingehandig. And that means he returned his homework or handed in his homework last minute. Voëls van eender se vere. Voëls van eender se vere. English also has one, birds of a feather, means exactly the same thing. So that is just two people that are very alike. Like-minded people. Voëls van eender se vere. Daai twee is voëls van eender se vere. And that just means those two are birds of a feather. We've looked at op die nippertjie. Now we're looking at op die hond se stert, which literally translated means on the dog's tail. Op die hond se stert. And that has a very similar meaning, just in time. Basically a synonym for op die nippertjie. Not completely, but like they're not always used exactly in the same context or same sentence, but they like really close. So op die hond se stert. And that example is hy het op die hond se stert by die huis aangekom. And that just means he got home just in time, like just before his mom kills him, like just in time. So hy het by die huis aangekom op die hond se stert. In iemand se slaaikrap. In iemand se slaaikrap. The literal translation of that is to scratch in somebody's salad. Or to toss somebody else's salad. In iemand se slaaikrap doesn't work in English. And it means to stick your nose in somebody else's business. To stick your nose where it doesn't belong. And usually it's used in the context when you meddle in somebody else's love life, or you're like placing yourself in a position and saying things in somebody else's love life where you really should not go. And so when somebody does that, you tell them, Sunny, hou op om in ander mense se slaai te krap. And that just means, Sunny, stop meddling in other people's business. Lepel lê, lepel lê. This is a very popular one in Afrikaans. You will find a couple of Afrikaans songs containing lepel lê for sure. And that means spooning or cuddling with your loved one. So it is specifically, lepel is the word for spoon. Lepel lê, spoon lying down. Something like that. You are spoon lying down. So lepel lê, and that means specifically the position of spooning, and you'll be cuddling in that position. So the question down at the bottom is, gaan ons lepel lê vanaand? Gaan ons lepel lê vanaand? And that means, are we going to cuddle in the spoon position tonight? Haastige hond verbrand sy mond. Haastige hond verbrand sy mond. And that means if you are impatient and you do something too quickly, or you make a decision because you are impatient, you will get hurt. So the literal translation of haastige hond verbrand sy mond is as follows. An impatient dog burns his mouth. So that is usually referring to a dog that eats too fast and is just going to eat hot food and burn himself because, you know, they're hungry and they don't care, or they don't have the self-control to not just eat everything when they see it. So this is why we say haastige hond verbrand sy mond. An impatient person who goes into a situation or does something too quickly because they were too impatient to do the proper research or wait as long as they should have, they will get hurt, and it's because they were impatient. So this is what this saying is for. In the example, when somebody does something and you are then responding when they come to you and they say, oh, well, I've done this and this is what happened. And then you say, well, haastige hond verbrand sy mond. That's a way of responding to somebody when they say, well, you know, I've messed up because I couldn't wait. And you're like, haastige hond verbrand sy mond. And this is a very literal idiom. So this is a full Afrikaans idiom. Die kat uit die boom kyk. Die kat uit die boom kyk. And that means to thoroughly check out something before you make a decision or take action. Die kat uit die boom kyk. The example, ek het nog niks besluit nie. Ek wil eers die kat uit die boom kyk. And that means I haven't decided anything yet. I first want to fully check out the situation before I make a decision. Hare op jou tande hê. Hare op jou tande hê. That means, literally translated, to have hair on your teeth. Literally, hare op jou tande hê. The meaning is when somebody persevere under very challenging circumstances and you just look at them and you think, wow, like how are they doing that? And the example, bottom right, is sy swem in ijskoue water. Sy het hare op haar tande. And that means she's swimming in ice cold water. Sy het hare op haar tande. I can't translate that. She's so strong. She's got hair on her teeth. You can't use that in English. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. But yes, that would be the literal translation. Iets met 'n knippie sout neem. Iets met 'n knippie sout neem. The literal translation. To take something with a pinch of salt. So that means to not blindly believe something that somebody's saying. When they're retelling a story, to just not blindly believe it, but to rather investigate further or try and get a second opinion or third opinion to make sure that you just don't believe everything you hear. And so bottom right, jy moet maar wat sy gesê het met 'n knippie sout neem. And that means you must take what she said not on face value, but rather do your own research before you believe what she said. Slangevang. Slangevang. Something I'm very familiar with, and that means snake catching, catching snakes. Catching snakes. Slangevang. Now, the meaning is being very angry, being super angry, being furious. You are so furious that you can catch snakes, is what it says. So, the example, hy het my nou so kwaad gemaak, ek kan slange vang. Hy het my nou so kwaad gemaak, ek kan slange vang. And that means he made me so angry that I can now catch snakes. Eet langtand. Eet langtand. The literal translation, to eat long-toothed. No. Eet langtand. Alright, so the meaning, when you're eating without enthusiasm. So you're eating, but you know it's going like, you know, you're sitting there, moving your food around on your plate, you're really somewhere else, or you're just really not hungry, but you have to eat, and people are like, your mom's going like, no, you haven't finished your food yet, you can't get your pudding if you don't finish your food, and it's one of those things, why should I really? Then you are eating langtand, jy eet langtand, often used, we use it quite often. The example, hy eet langtand aan sy blomkool. It means he is not unenthusiastically eating his cauliflower. He's unenthusiastically eating his cauliflower. Hy eet langtand aan sy blomkool.